Well, hello, I am Coach Carolyn, and this is my channel, Live, Sweat, Sparkle, named after one of the programs that I offer because I just help women do all three of those. I want to have fun with this channel. I sort of am one of those people that what you see is what you get. I don't want to make it super serious. I would love to have interaction here in the sense that if you have anything constructive to offer, or if you have something that somebody else could benefit from, love to hear from you. Love you to subscribe if you would, share. This would be great if we could have this as a big conversation between women. A little bit of fun for you. My favorite color is sparkle. Those who know and love me know this. And what I was thinking was, whenever I do these videos, I'm actually going to dress up. And I might be in a ball gown one day, literally. But the reason is this, because I have found through COVID, it's very interesting. I don't know about you, but my hair's up in a ponytail, and I'm either in my workout gear because I'm working out or I'm helping other people work out, or I'm working online with people, so I'm dressed up in serious clothes, or I'm just in summer casual stuff. And none of us really have the opportunity or need to go out anymore. And I felt how nice to get dressed up, have a little time each week where you can sort of get dressed up, so you can join me here. But I thought, I am going to. This is going to be my time where I put something nice on. And what I have found through doing this is it means so much more. We've gone back to things being special again that before weren't so special. So actually washing my hair, making myself look nice, and thinking about what I'm going to wear and putting it on and feeling nice and putting that perfume on, it's become special. And as I say, it's not amazingly important in the grand scheme of things, but isn't it nice that things have become special again? So just a thought for you. This channel, I have said it before, is for or geared towards the woman 40 plus, because that's the age group that I'm in. I love to help people where I know where they're coming from, and that tends to be most of my clientele. But at the same time, if you're under 40, I'd love you to be listening, learning, taking it in, and asking questions too, because here's the thing. When we get to our 40s and above, I do believe that many of us start to get things far better. We understand things more about ourselves, about the world around us, and many don't overthink anymore, or as much about things either. We also are in a place where we think, wow, I wished I had known this when I was younger. So how cool that you can listen in, join in the fun, and get some information on the things that maybe in the future you might have struggled with, but now you have the answers prior to that, or you can at least know what the struggles are and look into them more. At the same time, how cool to connect with women who are older as well. So I think there's a lot of benefit here from learning from a group of women who are older so that you know what's to come. Let's take perimenopause and menopause for example, which will be a whole other episode, I will tell you. I speak to a lot of women, of course, and they're in this stage. And you know what has come up is, they had no idea, because it's different for everyone. They had no idea what was going to happen. They have no idea what really to do next, some of them, and they really wished that there had been some education on this when they were younger, whether it was their mother that spoke to them or whether it was a health program, something where they knew more. So things like that, I think it's going to be really interesting and really good to join in on. Also, if you're a gentleman, great, well done. That means most likely that you have a woman in your life who's over 40 and you want to know how you can help her or what her successes are, things like that. So great. So let's get on to today's topic, aging gracefully. Why I decided to start with this topic was when I turned 50, the comments that I heard from the majority of people were, or was, I guess, oh, it's all downhill from here. Now, I get it. People say things an awful lot in life because they want to have a little giggle with you or create conversation. I'm the same myself. At the same time, I heard it from so many people that I really felt a lot of people feel this. And I'm here to say you don't have to feel this way. Don't get me wrong. If you do, it's not that you can just turn on a switch overnight and after seeing this video tomorrow say, oh, I just feel fantastic in my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70 and above. No, it's not that at all. It's actually hard work. It's actually putting effort into yourself and your actions on a daily basis. But I have this question for you. Aren't you worth it? Yes, you are. Absolutely. Is it not worth living a quality of life as you age where you can feel phenomenal rather than think that you're just going to go downhill and letting that take over and just going with it? So I'm here to say absolutely, you don't have to be that way. If you're a woman who does feel like she's thriving and shining as she's aging, in any decade over 40, I would love to hear from you. Whether you comment, whether you send it to me privately, I don't mind. But I think it would be incredible to share so that other women can see how you've done it. Instead of just hearing me, see how you've done it. If you are a woman struggling and you feel that as you age, that you just don't like yourself as much, or that you have struggles that you didn't have before, I am so glad you're here, because I would love for you to leave here feeling that there is some hope. And you can, of course, reach out to me, because I'd love to connect with you if you feel you are struggling with this. This is what I help women with. One of the things, of course, that we talk about when there is a woman struggling in this age is weight. It's the jiggles, it's maybe the muffin top around the waistline that they just feel, I'm older, it's just there. That's it. No, it doesn't have to be that way. It absolutely doesn't. I do think it's important to address this. We are not going to be what we were in our 20s. We are not going to have the body that we had maybe in our 30s. As a new mom, we're not going to go back, and I'm talking pretending, 20s and 30s. Once we've had a child, you're not going to go back to that body that you had pre-child. It's all about working with the stage you are in right now. Where are you now? You are in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s or above, and how can you feel phenomenal now? How can you increase and improve and have a brilliant quality of life? Because it's quality of life that we're looking at, not quantity of life. You can live to 150 and it can be crappy because you didn't take care of yourself, or you can live to 90 and you can just thrive because you did. It's up to you. It's always up to you. So what can you do when it comes to the weight? When it comes to the weight, it is about moving more, especially as we age. We need to, because we know that our metabolism is slowing down, yes. So we have to adjust with that on what we do. So again, same thing. Perhaps the workouts you were doing in your 30s are not going to necessarily apply in your 40s, 50s, and above. So it is about moving more, sitting less. Try not to sit for more than an hour at a time. Get up and move. Get creative. Park far away from places that you're going into. Go up and down your stairs in your house a few times. I obviously have stairs there. Things like that. It's about getting creative. And there's a whole theory behind that, which again is going to be another episode as well. It's about moving more. It's about using those weights, my friends. If you haven't used them before and you didn't want to use them, it's about using those weights, and it's about sweating. It is, because here's the thing. Yes, the metabolism slows as we age. That is one thing that's certain. And if we can create more muscle on our body, and if we can push the fat to the side or decrease it, then of course, if we have more muscle, it's burning more all the time, and we're going to be helping ourselves in that matter as well, and it could even rev up the metabolism a little bit too. So it is about getting moving. What do I mean by that? Strength training. Absolutely, for sure. You don't have to do it every day. You can throw it in a few times a week, but add in strength training to your program. Side note, if you need any help with that, I'm your girl. Contact me, okay? What will happen is you will find that literally the weight does start to melt away. Of course, we've got to talk about nutrition in a second, but the weight will just, disappear. Not all, but you will start to tone up more. And of course, we want to make sure that as we age, we don't have the weight around our waist, because we don't want the fat inside close to our organs. We don't want that fat to sort of be more than it should, because that's dangerous for us. So think about these things. You don't want to necessarily spot train and go, I'm just going to do 5,000 crunches in a day. No. You want to actually be working out in a way your whole body is strengthening, and then that way you are going to be creating more lean mass on your body. So that's the first thing. You can do it. It is about effort. It's about sitting down. What can you do? What works for your schedule? But it is about doing it, creating a plan of action. So then we'll talk about food, because again, tied in, of course, with aging and that slower metabolism, of course, we have to readjust what we're eating. Have you ever sat down and looked at what you're eating? Have you ever counted the calories you eat in a day? And have you ever looked at what you should be having in a day? There is a method. I'm more than happy to help you with that. But once you know how many calories you actually should have, you can then figure out what you're supposed to be eating, and you can stick to how many grams of saturated fat, for instance, you should have in a day, and things like that. There's a whole episode here with that too. But once you start figuring out what you should be eating, because again, you're not going to eat now what you ate when you were 20. It's going to be completely different. And the mindset is very important. Looking at healthy food is something delicious. I love my food. I sort of salivate when I'm preparing my meals. But it's about thinking as you're preparing this healthy stuff, how wonderful it's going to taste, how much you enjoy it, and how great it's going to be for you. And you can actually change your mindset to thoroughly enjoy healthy food, because a lot of people, I think, tell themselves that they don't like it or they don't want it, and therefore, of course, they're not going to enjoy it ever. So there's an awful lot to do with that, which takes me to mindset and how we truly feel. Years ago, I was in another business, and I remember going into a building one year, and at the time, my mom was in her 70s, early 70s. She's late 70s now, but she was in her early 70s, and a going concern. I mean, this is the woman that's worked out her whole life, taught fitness her whole life, still does, and is very active. Her and my father are both very active. So I had this picture of a woman who was active and strong in her years. And I was opening the door for a woman, and she came through the door, and she was very frail looking and seeming, and said to me, "Thank you, dear. That was very sweet of you. I couldn't open it. I'm old, you know. I'm 68. Now I'm not telling you this story in any way to judge this lady, because she might have had health issues that added to that, but she had told herself that she was old at 68. And I think if there's any 60-year-old women and plus in here, they're going to very much say they're not old. Our age is in our head. You can tell yourself you're old. You can tell yourself you're young at 90, at 70, at 30. So it's really what we're telling ourselves. Because in my mind, I had my mom, who was older, doing all of these things, and I felt sad for this woman that in her head she'd told herself that she was old and couldn't do things anymore. So don't get into that habit. It's all about positive thinking and living mindfully. It's about listening to the thoughts you are telling yourself. Mindfully living is crucial. And again, I would be happy to help you if you would like guidance with this. When we catch ourselves thinking certain things and we can switch it around, then you're helping yourself very, very much. If you can find the positive in situations, it's called benefit finding. I'm not saying that you go through life with a great big smile slapped on your face all the time and think everything's fantastic. No, it's actually looking for the lessons and the pivots, and it's about looking for what can you benefit from in every situation that is sent your way. And if you can really start listening to what it is that you're saying, the conversations going on in your head when you look in the mirror is the first thing you think of, that look at me as I'm aging, I just look at that and the imperfections, or are you just looking in it and marveling at what your body allows you to do, or just not having a thought at all, which is fine. We've got to start rethinking how we are thinking about ourselves, and especially as we age. We are going to get wrinkles. Hello, wrinkles, yes. All right, we're going to get it. We're going to grow those little hairs underneath our chins that maybe we didn't have before. That, you know what, you get in your car. Do you do this? You get in your car, you think you got them all, and then you go and you drive somewhere, and that mirror in the car just shows everything. So I like to have a little giggle with that. There's many things that are going to happen. Of course, we're going to go through menopause, and that's going to affect us and our estrogen and things like that. At the end of the day, it doesn't have to take from us and our quality of life one bit. It's all how you're showing up for yourself. Can I also say, with regard to showing up as you get older, you sort of get, or a lot of women do, that now is the time to take time for you. I have a lot of women that come to me saying, I've had my kids, I've had my grandkids, I feel it's time now, I have time for me. And if you are a younger woman, I would love to say to you, take time for yourself now. It is never selfish to take time for yourself, whether it's your health, your happiness, your mindset, whether you shut the door for 30 minutes or an hour on your family with a little note saying, I'm in here, mom is recharging. You are allowed to do that, and you should do that, because then you'll be of far more benefit to other people when you have energy and you're sleeping well and all of these things. I know, a whole other episode too. But for the women that are older, we sort of tend to go, yeah, I get it now. I have the time for me, and I'm going to thrive. And the women that do in their 40s and 50s and plus that I work with, but we always say, wouldn't it have been great to get this when we were younger? So the other thing is we sort of overthink far less. We understand that we've got those bodies that have had kids, if you did have a child. Or that, you know what, yes, my legs do jiggle a bit more. Or, you know what, yes, I am getting wrinkles, but that's the power of getting old. That's, you know, that's an award for you. We got these things, and so we don't take, I don't know about you listening in, but I know I don't take myself very seriously, as seriously with a lot of things anymore, where I do feel getting a hang on stress a little bit better, in the sense that the things that maybe did stress us as young mums or grandmothers, even at first, certain situations, working hard outside the office, inside the home, it just seemed life could get very busy and very full, whereas now we are actually getting things. So if you have any thoughts that would help other people, it would be incredible to know about those. If there's something else that you've struggled with as you age and you think it's worth bringing to the attention of others, that's wonderful. But I do want you to know that if you are 40 and above, it is not downhill one little bit. It is very much uphill still. It's exciting, it's enjoyable, it's active, it's strong. It's what you put into it, though. So if you've been feeling a little low, thinking I turned 40 and oh my goodness, I turned 50 and I turned 60, and doesn't matter. If you're feeling that way, I'd love to be able to help you. I'd love you to reach out, because you do not have to feel this way anymore. And I, myself, and so many women around me that I am so lucky to have around me can tell you completely differently. So, more activity in your life. What can you do? It doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be a ton. But what can you do that is more and more effective? When you're eating, what can you do better with your food? How can you look at it better? How can you switch things up? Do you know what to switch up? And if you don't, reach out to me, because I can help you with that. And how are you thinking at the end of the day? Not at the end of the day, but you get my comment there. How are you thinking about yourself? Do you continually tell yourself that I am getting old, look at me, I'm just getting old, I'm that's it? Or are you telling yourself that, wow, this is the time of my life, this moment right now is just incredible? It's all down to you, and you can do it. Please, I'm going to ask you a couple of things. Please like this. Please subscribe. Feel free to share. That's 3 things I know. And as I said, if you're struggling with anything, reach out to me, because I would love to help you live, sweat, and sparkle too. Be safe, be happy, and more than anything, shine. Thank you for listening.